Hi guys, welcome to Unibizity, Hustle Demi Hasil edition. This podcast is what unlocks the secrets to owning a business. So join us as we delve into the world of e-commerce, digital marketing, and the strategies that make successful entrepreneurs thrive in their own business. Whether you're a seasoned business owner or just starting out, we've got you covered with inspiring stories, insights, and tips. I'm your host, Renyi, and today I'm very excited to bring you a very interesting conversation with the man behind one of our favorite local coffee brands, ZUS Coffee. Without further ado, let's dive into today's episode, Road to Medium Enterprise Business. Here with me is ZUS Coffee's COO and co-founder, Venon Tian.
Hello, hi everyone. Thanks for having me today.
Good to have you here.
Thanks.
All right, so let's talk about coffee. Have you had your coffee yet?
Yeah, I have.
What do you start your day with?
Usually Americano.
Do you make it yourself?
No, I don't. It's QC, right? I'm lazy lah. I'm lazy in the
You
morning.
don't have it at home before you come out, or you
No,
head out
so
to
usually what happens is that I'll order from home and I'll pick up from the store.
Oh.
Yeah, on the way I'll send my kid to school, then on the way I'll just pick up.
Okay, and we'll delve into this a little bit more because that's what makes ZUS Coffee so different. You can order ahead of time, show up, and then collect.
Yep.
Okay, now that we have had our little wake-up conversation, let's wind back time. Okay, let's think back about when you first started, your origin story. Maybe you can share with us a little bit about before ZUS. What have you done?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and some of the success stories that you might have.
Okay, not success, but it's like a journey, right? So I'm actually a law grad. I graduated from the UK, worked there for 2 years. Again, I think my journey itself has actually contributed towards ZUS. So in the UK, I was actually working in a retail environment. Yeah, because it was hard to get job. That was like 2008, 2009 kind of time. And I was working in retail, then went on to work for a chain in, during that time it's called e-marketing.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no digital marketing and whatnot, it's e-marketing. So you can sort of like guess my age lah. And then after e-marketing, I came back to Malaysia. Yeah, and told myself that I should delve myself more in terms of the corporate world and really understand how to build structures and how does it really work lah, right? Then I worked for a MNC in office is located in Damansara, and was in the e-commerce department. Yeah, so during that time when I first started, there wasn't even Lazada yet. And was tasked to build up the whole platform for the company. Yeah, I was very fortunate to be given opportunity. So I was working there for 2 years. Yeah.
So how did you learn that skill set since your background is actually in law?
Yeah, so what happened was that prior to going to law school, family went into some financial difficulties and all. I had to fund myself. So I started a e-commerce business. I would say very much like trading lah. Right, buying stuff from. So during that time, what happened was like there's like reject shop, there's like FOS and all, right, and there's a lot of very good quality reject goods, branded goods lah, right. So I set up an eBay account and then I was selling overseas, made my money from there, and then that's how I funded myself study. So I've actually gained a lot of passion for e-commerce during my younger days lah.
So you were one of the few early drop shippers of sort lah.
Not so much of drop shipping, but really buying and selling.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I go shopping around town and then post it online and then sell them.
Wow.
And I still remember during that time, they don't really have eBay Malaysia, or they do, but they don't really have like a representative office here.
Yep.
Yeah, so I can only sell through other countries, which is your US, Australia, UK. It was easier for me when I was in the UK because when you have that Mat Salleh address, it's easier to sell, right? And Royal Mail is also very established and it was easier for me. So that's how I gained my passion towards e-commerce and how I actually learned my experience through that.
Wow, okay. So after the MNC period and you were tasked to build that e-commerce platform.
Correct, yeah. So I was working,
that?
so the MNC actually had a lot of resources. We had a tech team based in China and then they had different kind of businesses lah. But e-commerce is something that they want to venture into. Yeah, so I was sort of like a project manager working on, how to liaise with the tech team and making sure that the business works and stuff like that. And I still remember my first success in that company itself was selling, I think I sold a bunch of GPSs in a day. I think a couple of hundreds through online platform, which never happened before.
Yeah,
it never
doesn't sound like
before.
a lot today, but back in the day, that was...
Yeah, exactly. And they were like, wow, can sell. And we were selling more than the distributors
Yeah.
out there. And so the company gave me more opportunity to grow from
I
there.
think to give context to the younger viewers out there, back in the days, a lot of people don't trust buying things online.
Correct.
Right, putting their credit card
Yeah, you're right,
on the
you're right.
system as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
So that was definitely an amazing
Yeah,
path.
yeah.
So how did that again come to where you are? In the beginning of Zeus Coffee's journey.
Yeah, so along the way, actually I left in 2013, started a business together with an angel investor. So during that time, I was very lucky to have met someone who spotted my, talent.
Okay.
Yeah, talent, and then told me that whatever that I want to run, he'd be more than happy to fund. Wanted to run something similar to what you have now, or back then, like Service Hero, Gao Team sort of platform, but it didn't happen. So we started our own laundry business.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like proper laundry, washing
Laundromat,
clothes.
okay.
Yeah, laundromat. So we started that in 2013, all the way up till. So I was running that laundry business all the way up till 2020.
Okay.
Yeah, up to 2020. Of course, that was COVID. Along the way, there were a lot of small little projects lah. So I launched something called Laundry Hero, where you can actually book your laundry online. I don't know
Okay.
if you heard of it, or maybe you saw it somewhere.
I usually do my laundry at home, so I'm not too privy of that industry.
Yeah, but I think we used to serve you guys. We used to wash your
The dirty
dirty cloths and stuff
Oh,
like that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. Okay,
yeah.
you were dealing with probably one of my other
One of your other partners. Yeah, but so the whole idea was that you can book for someone to come and collect your laundry.
This is 2020.
This was 2014.
Oh,
This was
okay,
2014. So that was like 10 years back, right? And that time, even food delivery is not like, a
It's
thing
not even
yet.
prevalent, yeah.
But laundry, yeah. But why did we build that is because, again, the passion for e-commerce, wanting to bring everything online, and to have utilization rate for the laundromat. But things didn't work. Then continue to move on with the coin laundromat business that we had. 2016 was in grocery e-commerce as well. That was an opportunity given to us, so we were running that for a while. Then we shut it down. Then I was doing a laundry locker kind of business. Yeah, and all of those run concurrently up till 2020. That said, Zeus actually started in November 2019. Yeah, so what happened was that, so in the entire founding team itself, there is actually about 8 person, but everyone came in different phases. The first phase of them had like about 5 of them. Yeah, and they were the one who started the business first. Yeah, and it started in 2019. And how I came across it was really the founder and the CEO is actually a good friend of mine. We worked together in 2016 in the e-commerce business. Yeah, his name is Ian. Yeah, so Ian used to run his own e-commerce business as well. We were mentored and invested by the same investor. Yeah, so sort of know how we function and all. And when he wanted to start a business, they were renting the office, where my office is in Binjai. Then eventually when Zeus wanted to start, they were like, hey, downstairs there's like a spot.
That point there, where eventually when Zeus wanted to start, what does that mean?
So what happened was in 2018 or 2019, in fact, sorry, 2 steps back. In 2017, Ian sold his business to a Japanese MNC. Yeah, then he had to stay with the business for another 2 years. 2019, he left, and he was sort of like, what should I do now? Yeah, then was experimenting or just looking out in terms of what other potential businesses that he can run. And coffee came
Came
true.
to mind.
Yeah,
Okay.
came to mind. And then he went around, travel, and really like searching for the next business to run, right? And that's how the whole idea came about.
So you came in after the idea was already formed.
Yes,
That, hey,
yes.
we're going to do a tech-based coffee chain. Would that be
Correct.
a very simplified way to say it?
Yeah. So I came in actually a couple of months later when Zeus wanted to scale outlet number 4 onwards. And we only had like a handful. In fact, we didn't really have like full-time staffs besides the baristas and all, right? But all this while we knew that what Zeus was doing. In fact, at the very early stages, we were like, hey, can this thing work? As much as we love tech, right? Can this thing work? Because for the longest time, everyone has been ordering coffee over the counter rather than over the app.
Yeah.
And I've gone through those phases where, ordering laundry online and whatnot didn't work, right? So it was a bit challenging.
there's a bit of doubt as well.
Yeah.
But do you remember when we first met? Do you remember?
I don't remember. What was that?
Okay.
Was that the first time that we met?
I think so.
But I've known you for like the longest time.
Yeah.
Oh.
But that was when you guys came to me with a proposal that, hey, would you have a small slice in your store that we can put this concept called ZUS Coffee? Was it with you or with one of your partners? I don't
I
remember.
think one of the partners.
Okay. Sorry. Then I might have
But
mistaken.
I think the second time you met us was, I think we already had like a couple of stores, right? Like 10 stores.
More than that. But I remember there was a time when ZUS was still in its very infancy stages, and you guys were still trying to discover, what the
Correct.
next path was.
Correct.
And in fact, I said, with Burger Lab, it might not make sense.
Yeah.
However, go talk to Inside Scoop.
Yeah.
And they coffee and ice cream makes sense, right? But I also didn't see that pan out. But Inside Scoop have their own success story, and I'm glad to see that you guys have your own success story.
Yeah.
Now, back to the point where you talked about, starting ZUS and then incorporating technology. Can I, be a little bit more controversial and ask, was it inspired by Luckin Coffee in China?
Yeah. I mean, that was like a fast-growing coffee brand, right? Yeah, and of course, how China operates is very, very different from this part of the world. We always look up to them, and they're always far ahead, lah. Yeah, so yes, we were referring to a lot of how they work and whatever that was in the region itself.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah.
So that was a good, testing for you guys, whereby, hey, someone have done it, someone has shown results for it. We learn from their mistakes, we take what they are great at doing, and then we just incorporate it. So tell me, again, other than just being able to pre-order, and that's oversimplifying it, right? Why did ZUS have that belief that, hey, if I'm able to let people order ahead of time, we're gonna change the game. We're gonna change the landscape of how people, get their coffee in Malaysia.
I think few things, right? First thing is that I think for the longest time we've been paying high prices for good coffee.
Okay.
Yeah. How we see in the market is that we've got different segment of coffee, models, right? You have the convenience store kind of more stable coffee, where you can just walk in and then you just press a button and you get your espresso and your Americano, right?
That's
and
more
then,
recent these days, right? With the robotic coffee kiosks.
Yeah, I mean, even back then you have it in most of the convenience stores.
Okay.
I think you have like Maru Coffee and
I thought that was more of a recent last 5-6
really?
years thing. Yeah, I don't know.
But 5-6 years is still more than ZUS, right?
Oh yeah, exactly. Sorry. I thought like ZUS has been around for such a long time.
Yeah, ZUS is only 4.5
years.
years.
Insane. Okay.
Yeah. Then you've got your 7-Eleven and whatnot. That's very much to us functional coffee. Yeah, not so fun. Just very much your black and white coffee, right? Then you've got your what we call premium mass, which focuses a lot in terms of like third space model. Yeah, you buy a cup of coffee, you sit there, use your laptop, your Wi-Fi and whatnot. And what they're selling to you is less of the beverage, more of the space. Yeah. And then you've got like specialty coffee, which I mean our local guys have done it great. In fact, I go there every weekend and all for specialty coffee. But what we are lacking is really that gap, right? So how we see ourselves is very much filling the gap between your 6 to 10 ringgit kind of coffee, good coffee, affordable price. So that's in terms of accessibility in terms of price point, right? Second thing is that a bit more adventurous in terms of flavors, which you seldom see in the market. So our first few signatures during then was ZUS Gula Melaka, which no one was selling, right? We had a drink called Thunder, which is soda water with honey lemonade and coffee. Yeah, and what else? I don't remember. We have Genmai Cha, which most people are selling matcha, right? And those differentiates us versus the existing players. Yeah. Then of course the app comes into play, which is more of a more convenient way to place order, lah. Yeah.
So in the early days, which came first, the product of coffee and making sure that hey we have great coffee, or just coffee that can pass up because at the price range people won't compare too much, or the tech? I mean, as a fellow entrepreneur myself, I can only do so many things at a go. So where did you guys focus on to begin with?
Actually, the app came first.
Okay.
And I think it was very convenient for us because we've always been in that, tech space, the startup space. We're very
second nature to you.
Yeah. Friends that we know can build apps, right? And then we know how API works and all sorts. Very fortunate again that at early stages we have very good support from partners that we've worked with like Grab and whatnot, that provided us API, gave us the support in terms of riders and all. So the app came first, then only the store. Yeah, and we've never run F&B business. Of course, a few of the co-founders themselves used to own a coffee franchise. Yeah, but that said, not at the current scale that we have. But yeah, that provided us a bit of insights in terms of how should we build the store and more. But our core has always been the app, the technology. Yeah.
So at what point did you know that, hey, the app works, is getting people to buy? Or was there a struggle, right? Because there's always a phase of education. Was it immediately people were like, oh, this is genius, I love using it, I'm going to continue using it? Or was there a hurdle in terms of getting the masses to adopt to that new technology?
Yeah, so I think the initial stages, yes, we had a bit of hurdle challenge on educating the customer, but we have been using a lot of different strategies like giving out free coffee, subsidizing orders and whatnot, which is your typical e-commerce play. And how we see ourselves is very much an e-commerce business rather than F&B business. Yeah, so we were deploying a lot of those strategies along the way.
So maybe you can give an example of some of the strategies that you've used other than just giving out free coffee. But I understand that there are tier systems, or when you are an app member, you get it at a cheaper rate. Can you give an example of one or two of those strategies that worked really well for you guys?
Okay, so at different phases along our journey, we put in different features. The earlier feature was just for customers to be able to place their order, right? And order for pickup or order for delivery. But 90% of our sales in the initial day for our very first outlet itself came from delivery, because our store was actually located in Binjai, this building called Binjai 8, and it's not located in like the main roads, it's Lorong Binjai.
Okay.
And when you call for Grab, right, even the Grab driver cannot look for it.
Okay.
Yeah. So majority of our sales came from delivery. First strategy that we did was to give out free 3,000 cups of coffee. But for us, what we did was very much an acquisition.
So you were burning money at that point in time?
I mean, we're subsidizing, right? To us, we see it as an acquisition cost. 3,000 cups of coffee giving out, and then we require like few days to fulfill the orders. Then people were starting to talk about us and say that, hey, there's this, app based coffee company that's giving out free coffee and discounted prices. So we were doing a lot of like buy one, free one. After the free coffee, we did buy one, free one. Then we were running some promotions over the months down the road. Right? So over weekends, Friday, Saturday, Sundays, we were doing like free 100 cups of coffee or 50% off, that sort of thing. And that helped us to educate the market on how they can benefit from using the app.
So how long before you felt, hey, it has reached to some extent a critical mass that people I no longer need to give free stuff. People already know of our brand. People already are happy with our services, right? How long did that take? Is it a year, or two? And in that 1 or 2 year, were you expanding as well? And what was the goal at that time in the first 2 years?
Yeah, so what happened in the first year itself, we ended 2020 with about 15 to 18 stores.
Wow.
2021, we ended with 60 stores.
Wow.
Yeah, 2022, we ended with 180 stores. But that said, because you asked the question on when did we know when to stop giving out free goodies. In fact, perpetually, we've been doing the buy one, free one for the longest time for new app users. Then we had a thing which is like ZUS Day, which is every Tuesday, buy 3, free 1. Yep. So that has been running for the longest time as well. And the weekend giveaways and all, we sort of like stop it in somewhere halfway 2021, 2022, because we had that scale, right? We had more stores, people know about us, people were looking forward to come to us. I still remember our first store in Johor, the police actually came to the store to disperse crowd. Because during that time, you had that
crowd
social
control.
distancing and whatnot, and then perpetually you get a lot of customers coming in, and police were just standing outside and like, dispersing crowd. So people look forward to the brand. People look forward to that whole coffee excitement and whatnot. And so we started to stop giving out more.
Now, you made a very interesting point whereby you scaled very quickly, almost double, triple, in subsequent years. At what point in the early stages, we're still talking about early stages, did you guys say, hey, look, we think this is doable, let's start scaling aggressively, right? Was it from the get-go, you say no matter what, we already have X amount of dollars committed to this. We're going to open, 20, 30 stores to begin with, and then figure it out as we go. Or you had a point where you say this is sustainable. Let's keep scaling.
Yeah, so early stages, we didn't think, to be honest, we never thought that the business could go this far or this big. Yeah. We started off where friends, families, and fools taking up franchise here and there. So the early stages, we do have 30 stores, which are franchise stores, purely wanting to prove the whole concept where it works. Of course, the first few stores were company owned, then franchise stores. Then we found that, the numbers were very promising. So in January 2021 was the time that we decided that this is the year we have to scale. But that year itself was also very, very challenging because we had 2 major lockdowns. Then there was Chinese New Year, then there was like from May up to August.
Yes.
But yeah, during that year itself, we told ourselves that, hey, let's scale. Let's try to hit 60 stores by end of the year. And that was the turning point where we told ourselves that, hey, this is the right time to scale. Yeah, and it was
How did you justify it? Sorry, when you say it's the right...
Store numbers or store economics that, stores are EBITDA positive.
Okay.
Yeah, we were, a lot of customers were, downloading our app. It makes sense. And it's like you can see road to profitability.
Yeah.
And again, I think most startups, right, usually they start and then you burn and then you acquire customers and all. We would always classify ourselves as that kind who wouldn't want to burn.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's always profit first, and we do see profitability in the coming months. So then we decided to scale from there.
Okay, and this is all funded by...
Our own funds. So we are very fortunate that our circle of friends had, some money to be able to spare to grow.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is not small money, yeah? Because each store, I assume you're looking at about 200, 300?
Yeah, about 300.
Kiosk style lah.
During that time, it was about 300, 300.
It's a lot more expensive these days.
Yeah. But we were getting a lot of support. We were getting a lot of support from many angles, say during that time because of lockdown. So there was also a lot of opportunity in terms of like stores, right? We had the upper hand in terms of negotiating prices and whatnot. Even supplies, we had better, negotiating power and all came into place. I think it was right timing as well for us. And yes, we did have bigger capital for us to scale. And it was like all go big or go home kind of scenario.
Wow.
Yeah. Then we contacted a lot of banks and all. I think during that time, one of the banks were quite friendly to us and offered us some loan. So yeah, it was that and our own money during that time.
So with quick scaling, there's always going to be a dilution in quality. I mean, in a year, you had an extra 60 stores, right? How did you guys maintain the quality of service and also your products as well?
Yeah, I think the key for us was that we eventually have to give up something, right, to scale. So the question that we ask ourselves is that product quality or is it service? What's our model? So we are very much fast coffee, right?
Coffee,
no BS kind of order coffee and then chow that kind, right? So you don't expect too much of service. It's unlike it's the same thing like back in the days, right? When you take taxi, you like the uncle where you're familiar with and then you always have a chat with him and stuff, right? Nowadays, you even have a silent mode on your Grab.
Yep, it's an option.
Yeah, so people, less emphasis on service, more emphasis on quality. So we pay a lot of attention in terms of making sure the SOPs and all are standardized across, and then the tools and equipments that we use are standardized. Then we didn't really have like a proper structure in terms of training. Then we set up our academy, but academy during that time is just one person. Basically setting up the entire module or turn whatever training materials into proper modules. Then only we started to build a proper, training academy. How do we train our guys? Then came up with the whole idea of management trainee and all.
But as a new business in that short 3 years and you were expanding and you have an academy, were this knowledge that were previously had by some of the partners, or you guys had to poach talent from other companies that have done this before?
Yeah, I think for us during that time was very much execution, right? A lot of ideas and a lot of ideas, knowledge were all through learning. Yeah, reading, YouTube. We didn't have an incentive scheme. I still remember during that time we had like about 20 stores. We didn't have an incentive scheme. So we went online and say, hey, how do most F&B chains incentivize their stores? Then we found this YouTube video talking about how Hai Di Lao,
I was about to say
how Hai Di Lao does it, right? And then they have that apprentice master kind of model, and then they incentivize them based on store sales and whatnot. So we learned from that. And then we adopt here, a little bit there. But we needed people to execute for us. Yeah, then we hired talents to, give them the whole idea. And the way we do things have been very different from conventional F&B chains. Yeah. And we just put all these ideas into them and tell them, hey, maybe you can execute this way, and then let's try. Yeah, and they like that fact of we are very adventurous and whatnot. And eventually they help us to execute all these ideas and yeah.
So you were able to attract the right talent to help you on the ground level to continue to scale, while you have to worry about on the top line, right? How do you get more money to open up more stores?
Yeah.
Right. What were some of the biggest headaches and challenges that kept you, awake at night for yourself personally?
Now or back then?
Back then, at that
Back
period.
Then,
when you were aggressively, you're still aggressively expanding, but at that time, when
I
you're
think,
still new.
So I think back then was very much the processes, the structure. So during that time, it's like one person doing 10 things, right?
Is that one person you?
No. we had a team. We had the co-founders, the initial team members. I think we ended 2020 with about like 30 staff, 20 over 30 staffs.
And they were running how many? This is on the management level.
Yeah, on HQ level.
HQ level.
HQ level. And and it's like one person doing 10 things, right? We don't really have like a proper marketing department. We don't really have like a proper operations department. Terrence, one of our co-founders, who's our head barista as well, was doing most of the operational stuff, training, and do R&D. Then we were like, how do we make this much more structured and corporatize the whole business? Yeah, then we park different pillars, put down into the whiteboard and say that, hey, let's set up a proper supply chain. Or during that time, we don't even call supply chain. We didn't even know what supply chain is, right? It was just really warehouse. Who handles our warehouse? And then we have marketing, or who handles marketing? Who handles operations? And Terrence is more of the artsy guy, very good with product and all. Okay, so you be the product guy who takes up operations. Yeah, that kind of thing. So during that time was very much setting up the structure, putting in processes, bringing in the right people to run respective departments. Yeah. So that keeps me awake in that 2021, 2022 time. Yeah.
So you said a very important element, which is putting structures in. My own business, we are 12 years, 13 years in. We only have 10 stores, 10 measly stores. And we're still learning how to put structures in place. Can you maybe give some advice to SMEs like myself that if we are looking at scaling another 10, 20, 30 stores down the road, what are the first few fundamental structures that one should look out for and put in place?
I think the key is really listing down what do we do on a day-to-day, right? So like I said, we used to have an office in Taman Desa. It's like on the second floor, very, very run down. Still remember the toilet, we can just talk to each other next door, right? At the back of the office, we had a huge whiteboard. So what I did during then was to list down all our, what do we do on a day-to-day, right? Then you know like how busy are we, because every time you tell people, oh, I'm busy, but you don't know what you're busy with. And so we listed down all our day-to-day, what are we doing. Then we were like, hey, this is actually related to warehousing because you count inventory and all. And then this is related to marketing, this is related to operations. And then I think the next key thing that we ask ourselves is that which comes first? What's the priority? Yeah, and the good thing about us is that we knew during that year how many stores we need to scale to. And we were, again, learning a lot of things online in terms of at 50 stores. What kind of model should we be running? Which kind of department should we focus on? So a lot of emphasis and focus during that time was operations. Yeah, and we built on that very bit more complex kind of operations model. Or I would say that there's so many layers. I mean, as of today, we've got baristas, we've got supervisors, store managers, district manager, and operations manager, then a head, which is a VP level sort. And during that time, we only had like store supervisors and area supervisors. But how do we transition into different levels and whatnot? So a lot of the emphasis was really what is the most important thing for us. Pay attention to that, focus on that, build that pillar up
the
first.
systems up.
Yeah, and then put in all the processes and all, then look into the next, department. And that's what we've been doing. And of course, during that time, COVID was also beneficial for our business model.
How so?
Because the whole business was built for digital, or I would say that the business is digital ready. Everyone was scrambling to go online, right? I think during that time, the third-party platforms had a lot of trouble, registering everyone online, and you had a lag time on being able to sell online.
Yes.
Yeah, but
and every day counts at that point.
Yeah, and we were digital ready. So everyone needed their coffee, everyone wanted to try something new, and we were trying everything new, right? We were buying fruits online, we were buying this online, that online, and so naturally it was good for us, and we didn't have to pay a lot of emphasis on really like marketing. Yeah, of course we were running campaigns, we were running promos, we were tracking our users, tracking all the data and what cohorts and all. But for us itself, a lot of emphasis was on how are we able to scale without having the fundamental, which is operations. Yeah, so a lot of focus was put into that. Yeah, then the next thing is that when you have so many stores, you need to have a good supply, right?
Yep.
Yeah, then how do we build up that warehouse and the delivery to stores? So that's another pillar. Yeah, and then it slowly grew from there.
Thanks for that great sharing. All right, guys, I'm a little bit thirsty. I might order myself some ZUS Coffee. In the meantime, let's go on a break and we shall listen to what Unifi Business has to offer.
Being your own boss can feel like a big mistake. When you need to figure out everything yourself, even though you don't know what to do. But with the right partner, it can feel like the best decision you made. Because no matter what problems you face, we will always find a way. These are the business owners who have grown their business with our help.
Well, we're back. And Venon, you have generously ordered us some coffee. Tell me, what do you have for us?
We've got the Spanish latte, which is our top seller. Yeah, our customer's favorite lah. Then we've got the new single origin coffee. We've got the SOE CEO latte. We've got the SOE stands for single origin
edition.
Yeah, and we've got the SOE Americano as well.
Okay. Yeah. You said that usually you have Americano,
I have
in the
Americano
morning.
every
So,
morning.
okay, you can have that. And then I will try the CEO latte.
That's very kind of you. Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
All right, let's go. Wow, this is a very sleek looking cup. I don't know if you guys can see this or not.
Yeah.
Very atas looking.
It's
Okay.
meant to. It's more exclusive, right? Single origin.
It is.
A bit more atas.
Actually, what's single origin for those that are not in the know?
So in our stores itself, most of the beans or all the beans that we use are all blended beans.
Which means you
have different country, different taste profiles that comes out to something that signature to us. Yeah, so it's a combination of a couple of beans. But single origin is just purely that particular bean from that
particular
farm.
region or
Correct.
farm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is actually a Colombian single origin.
You said this is single origin. So this is from one particular region and farm.
Yeah.
Which farm or which region is it from?
So this is
again?
actually a Colombian single origin.
Okay.
Which particular farm? I actually forgotten about
That's fine.
Yeah. But well, the most important thing is it tastes good. So maybe let me know what you think about the coffee.
Okay. First off, your cup is very high tech. I'm not too sure how to open it. Do I slide it? Do I?
No, you just pull it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
I know this is a bit more, fancy.
Fancy.
Yeah. But the whole idea of us using this lid and the whole packaging was really to prevent leakage and spill. Because a majority of our sales, back then was from delivery. So we found that, this is actually the best
best
one
way to
for
go around it.
Yeah.
Okay.
As much as it's not like the mass user experience now for pickup. But it's, I mean, as long as it doesn't spill our customers, right?
Great. All right, let's drink. Oh, it's very clean flavor.
Yeah.
I used to be an ex-barista, so let me try to guess. All right, since it's Colombian, it's supposed to be a little bit more earthy, a little bit more nutty.
Yeah.
Which I do taste them, and a hint of chocolate.
Yep.
What's the flavor profile for this? Did I get most of them right, or?
Actually, I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't remember. Don't go into too
Okay,
detail.
don't go into
Don't go into
details.
too
Okay.
detail. I don't remember.
All right, sorry.
I don't
That's the
remember.
barista side of me trying to show off.
No,
Okay, no problem. Okay, so I taste a little bit of earthiness, a little bit of chocolatey, a hint of chocolatiness. I think this is one of the more cleaner coffee that I've had from you guys.
Okay, but do you like it?
I loved it. I love it.
Yeah.
So this is very clean flavor in terms of a latte. I can taste the flavor profile more prominently than the darker roast.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So why single origin?
Yeah, so of course, all this while back in the days, we only had one single bean, which is a bit more medium, darker roast kind. Sorry, it was a bit more medium, lighter roast.
When you first started,
When we first
you
started,
only have one option of
yeah, when we first started, actually, we started off with like very, very light roast coffee. Yeah, but the bigger problem is that people in this part of the region prefer their coffee a bit more gao.
Yes.
Yeah. Then along the way, we shifted it a bit more
Darker
roast. Eventually, we evolved into having two different beans.
Which I think is a great choice. I don't think a lot of local coffee chains offer two options, whether it's a lighter roast or darker roast. But I'm curious, since you said that Malaysians were the one that wanted darker roast and hence you offered it, what's the percentage of ratio? Take a guess, or not take a guess, but what's your educated guess?
Yeah, about 60% of our customers order the
Darker.
boss bean, which is darker roast. 30% it's on the lighter roast. Yeah, in fact, it started off more on the darker roast. Now it's shifting. Yeah, so there are actually more customers now opting for lighter roast.
Okay.
Yeah, medium lighter roast lah. So that's actually our Lydia bean. The medium darker roast is actually called the boss bean. Then eventually, what we see is that the trend where people want better quality beans. Yeah, and then we came up with the whole SOV
Single-
idea. Yeah.
Okay, nice. This is now available.
Yes, this is now available.
It just launched recently, I believe.
Just over the weekend. Just last.
Okay.
I don't know when is this.
It's in the next 2-3 weeks.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So we just launched this recently.
Yep.
Yeah, it's available in about 40 to 50 stores.
Okay.
Mainly in stores that we think that will sell better, because not everyone will appreciate single origin.
Understood.
Yeah.
It's a little bit pricier, I believe. It should be,
Yes,
given
it's a
that
little
it's
bit
a single
pricier.
origin.
It's a little bit pricier.
And you said that this is limited in some stores, but is it permanent or it's only for a limited time? The next 2-3 months, what are we looking at?
Yeah, so for the time being, yes, it's limited. However, we're looking to put this as, a permanent SOV, probably not the same beans,
Yep.
maybe featuring other beans as well.
Yeah, so as I guess the crops go in rotation, every year you have different single origin. That might most likely be the plan.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. What about the Spanish latte? Okay, so I usually don't order coffee that has hints of sweetness in it.
Yep.
Okay. And for those that have tried ZUS Coffee, I hear a lot of my friends always say, go for the Spanish latte. Right? And I've heard that it's a little bit on the sweeter side because it has sweetened
Yes,
milk in
yes.
it. Tell me a little bit more about it and why did you create most pure coffee drinkers, they're like, no, I don't want sugar, I don't want this and that.
Yeah.
Right? So why did you create this? And this is one of your best-selling products as well.
So you look at, most people back in the days, it's either you drink coffee or you don't drink coffee, right? For us to come up with all these kind of flavors is eventually turning people into coffee drinkers. Yeah, or making coffee more accessible, right? Easier to consume, not so bitter. Because when I first started drinking coffee, I was like, why do I want to drink coffee? It's so bitter. How could someone just drink this, right? But then I had to drink it for functional purposes, and eventually, but my own customer journey itself is that I started off from matcha frap from another brand.
Yep.
Yeah, then went into matcha latte. So it wasn't coffee per se.
It's got hints of coffee.
Yeah, and then you feel a bit FOMO because all your friends were like drinking latte, Americano and all. Then I went on from matcha latte to caramel latte. Yeah, caramel latte, then latte, then Americano. That's my customer journey. Yeah. For us itself, we see that trend with our customers. So all these flavored coffee are very much acquisition for us to eventually and hopefully people stay and turn into more staple coffee drinkers.
Awesome. Okay, now I'm going to try your coffee for the first time. Your Spanish coffee.
Spanish latte.
Sorry, Spanish latte for the first time. And
Yeah.
I'll give you a quick feedback, okay?
Yes, please.
All right. So first off, straw or no straw? Am I supposed to drink it separated?
No, you're supposed to drink it together. So you should put a straw in,
Stir
it, then you drink. I know our straws get lembik very quickly,
I
so then
heard.
you can drink from the strawless lid,
Actually,
which
I
we
want
have.
to ask you something. I saw this online.
Yeah.
Someone made pasta out of your straw. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Is it really edible? And why is it edible?
It's really edible. It's just made out of rice and zero plastics, no microplastics either. And the whole idea during that time, well, in fact, I'm a scuba diver myself. So from early days, I know how plastic actually affects the ocean. As much as people will always argue and say that I don't purposely throw it into the ocean, right? But yeah, how it affects the whole environment. And also we decided to go with rice straw, even though it
is
cost us,
costlier, I
it's
assume.
4 or 5 times more expensive.
Wow.
And may not be as good for customer experience. That's why we had that whole strawless lid and straw so that you can stir first and then drink from the strawless lid.
Okay.
Yeah, which a lot of beverage brands has go into this whole no straw kind of thing, right? But yeah, I mean we're working on the whole packaging to make sure that the straws can last and yeah.
All right. So first off, why not just stir the thing for the customer to begin with? Why do you have to be so fancy and separate?
Aesthetic lah, so you can take pictures, put on Instagram and drinking.
And that is the thing about food, right?
Yeah,
It's a perceived value, and also it's something that people feel a little bit more special when they're holding it in their hands.
Exactly.
Right.
Because all coffee is brown color, right? If I were to stir it,
Yeah.
you've got 10 different SKUs, all 10 of them are going to look the same.
Yep.
Yeah, but for us itself, like let's say we launched a watermelon latte earlier this year.
Mm-hmm.
It looks a bit pinkish and then brown, so it looks very nice.
Yes.
Yeah, and then people would just take pictures and all. And that's a part of marketing, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
it
that's
is.
a part of marketing.
Okay, so I understand why people like this. It goes down damn easy. And
Yeah.
it's not overly sweet.
Yeah.
It's just that I would say in other places it's the small sweet.
Yes.
They call it when you want to add sugar or not. Right? It's a small sweet. So yeah, it's very palatable. Now the straw, I don't know how it will perform in the next half an hour. We'll have a look at
Yeah,
it
you
and
can
see
have-
whether it's truly edible and it is actually tasty. But on a day where I think I'm feeling a little bit fancy, I would definitely order this and just walk around the mall and just chill with it.
That's good.
Yeah. Okay. Now I see that you have other products on the table as well.
Yep.
Maybe you want to share with us what they are, because I didn't know that you guys go from serving fresh coffee to canned coffees. Why are you guys doing that?
Yeah. So as of today, we actually have about 470 stores. Yeah, end of the year, we're targeting to reach 700 stores. And since last year, we already have the thoughts in the sense that there is only so many stores that we can open, right? And ultimately, fresh brew is not something that everyone might consume. Yeah, especially different segment of customers or different demographic of customers, right? Then the thought of, how are we able to go into the whole RTD segment? Yeah, so sometime Q3, Q4 last year, we actually have a different business unit or different vertical focusing on RTDs or the FMCG part of things and merchandisers, and we've been launching some merch, fashion line and whatnot. So that particular entity itself focuses on this. Yeah, and we've been working on this for a while, and we recently launched it. And of course, the whole idea is that we wanted to excite the market, like how we first started, right? When we first started, it's like people were like, what is Zeus Gula Melaka? What is like Thunder? What's this Game Matcha Latte? And we thought, let's do something, naughty, fun, which very much reflects the whole Zeus culture. And so we launched coffees. So it's actually a fizzy, it's a bit like cola taste kind of coffee.
Cola taste coffee.
Yeah.
Okay. That is interesting. I thought it was just soda drink with espresso. at best. But
No.
it's actually cola tasting.
Yes, it tastes a bit like cola. It
Okay.
tastes a bit like cola.
So, I mean, I really like, back in the days before the boycott, Coca-Cola with a hint of coffee. They used to have this. So this is similar, you would say.
Yes.
Okay, then this is my alternate choice then.
Yes, yes. So it's actually similar. And I think in Malaysia itself, you don't really get this
Not at all.
flavor.
Yeah.
But it's actually quite common in other countries as well.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so then we were like, oh, let's launch this, excite the market.
I'm already excited. I want to try this
make
now.
coffee fun again, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Then we had this SKU, but along the line, in our pipeline itself, we do have your typical your black coffee, your latte and whatnot.
Okay. But right now, what's available in the market is only this flavor, correct?
no, this and the latte.
Oh, there is a latte as
Yeah,
well.
there's a latte.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shall we?
Yeah, and this is available in most of the convenience stores. I think some of the grocers as well.
Shall
Yeah,
I? Can
maybe
I?
you can try. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for those that have not tried before, cola, right, and coffee is actually a very interesting combination. So cheers.
Try.
This works. This works very well.
You
It
like
is
it?
more on the cola flavor, and then it ends on the back palate, that coffee element.
Hmm.
I love it. I think, well, this is room temperature, but I think stone cold.
Yes,
It's really,
yes.
really good. So when I first saw this, it was being advertised on Facebook for the most part. And what I saw was available online for online order only. But you said that it's available at Family Mart originally. And now, where else can I find this?
Most of the convenience stores.
Okay. But they're mostly sold out because I don't see them.
Nowadays it's better lah, because
Okay.
during the time when we first launched, then it was harder to, everyone was just grabbing it. Once we put it on the shelf, then everyone was grabbing it. But now it's better. Yeah, so we've got, during the time we were also like worried whether if people would like this. So it's very much like, smaller orders, making sure that, it doesn't go to waste and whatnot.
Okay, okay. I remember that you had a collab with Pepsi. Again, this is early, like mid last year. Is this inspired from that? Because there was a Pepsi
Sort of, yes,
coffee
yes,
drink
sort of.
as well.
So working with Pepsi was really wanting to bring the whole brand to the next level because they're an international brand and whatnot,
yep.
right? And and we're very happy that they were willing to work with us.
Yep.
We came up with that flavor, which is a bit more lemon sour with the cola and coffee flavor, and it's very much the same.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I can see it works. And finally, I think you have one more product to introduce to us. This looks very cute.
Yeah, I'm just gonna open this up. So this is actually a collab that we did with Santan, rolling out different flavors that
Okay.
both.
Oh, it's different flavors. I thought it's just different colors.
No. It's different flavors that
Every-
different. Both of us have curated Santan and Zeus. So what it is inside is, of course, this is like a bigger version of the cup.
So the cup is actually usable.
Yeah, it's usable.
Okay.
Yeah, it's recyclable and all, and then it's got a small little keychain in
Nice.
it. In future, we'll actually sell these
have a look?
capsules. There you go.
So this is not just for show. There's
this is
coffee
not-
inside.
There's coffee inside. So it's actually freeze dry. All you have to do is just mix it on top of milk or mix it on top of water.
Does it have
and
to
you
be
get
hot?
your coffee. No, it doesn't
Okay.
have to. Yeah, and then you just stir it. And,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
so cute.
Yeah, so we've
and
got
this is
different-
available on.
This is available in stores where you can order through the app or in stores itself. I think it's also available in flight in AirAsia.
on Asia.
Yeah.
And I can only buy one capsule, or I have to buy the whole
You
set?
had to buy the whole set for now. It's in the pipeline where we'll be rolling out the capsule ones. But it
Okay.
comes in. So what we see is that this will be alternatives to your typical caps, your capsule coffee.
Yes. So I have a Boss flavor here. What else do you have there?
Yeah. We've got the Lydia, which is slightly lighter. We've got the Unity Rose, which is the flavor that both Santan and Zeus came together to create or curate. We've got the Santan Single Origin that tastes a bit, says here lemongrass, honey chestnut.
Wow.
Yeah, so
That's
it's
an
called the
interesting flavor.
Santan All Star. And then,
Can
wanna have a look?
hold that.
Yeah, and then we've got the signature blend, which is called the Santan Captain. Yeah, it's got pecan almond flavor.
They look so cute. I don't even know if I should drink them or collect
Yeah,
them.
a lot of times people will just open up, put in coffee, and then they will
And then
just
keep
keep
it.
this. I've seen people using this as an AirPod. colors.
Oh, yeah.
So it's quite cool.
Amazing. All right,
Should
Venon,
try this
thanks
out.
for sharing the current products that you have with us, some of the more interesting ones. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back to our regular program.
Being your own boss can feel like a big mistake. When you need to figure out everything yourself, even though you don't know what to do. But with the right partner, it can feel like the best decision you made. Because no matter what problems you face, we will always find a way. These are the business owners who have grown their business with our help.
All right, so I got two more questions for you before we wrap up, okay? I'm a food person. So I'm going to ask you, in terms of Malaysian food, okay, what is your favorite go-to Malaysian food?
Char kway teow.
Char kway teow.
Char kway teow.
What is it about char kway teow, or which specific char kway teow that you really love to go back to?
There's this store in PJ. It's called ONS.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
all right,
ONS.
Yes,
ONS.
yes, in Paramount, right?
Yeah, in Paramount. That serves very good char kway teow.
Okay, that's your favorite.
That's the more accessible one. Of course, whenever you go to Penang, then you need to have the Penang char kway teow, right? But for me, it's that Paramount ONS char kway teow.
Okay, go on,
Yeah.
go on. Now, and finally, to wrap up this session that we have, and thank you for sharing so much of your insights. Now, if you have to look back on your journey and go back in time, and this is like not even such a long time ago for you, about 5 years ago, before you started your journey with ZUS, what are some of the advice that you will give your slightly younger self and do things slightly differently?
Actually, I wouldn't do anything different. Personally, I'm a big time Flash fan. Yeah, if you watch the Flash, right, going back in time, changing certain things would have different consequences in the future, right? So if for not whatever that I've gone through or for whatever that I've learned, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think the biggest learning or the best quote that I can give to everyone is really the harder you work, the luckier you get. And
I love that.
this is really a really good quote that was given to me by a mentor, and until today, it's still something that we live on, and making sure that you just work harder every day, and making sure that you can pass through yourself and say that, hey, I've actually done the right thing and not something bad. I'm quite sure things will turn out good for everyone.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Wholesomely agree with that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. We have reached the end of this episode of Unibizity. Thank you for staying with us all the way to the very end. I hope you have learned a thing or two from this podcast, and also from Venon for sharing so much of his journey. If you don't know how to do digital marketing, you can get on Unifi's business digital marketing solution. Visit our website for more information. Also, please do follow our social media accounts to get notified on the next podcast. And with that, we're done. Bye. Hi guys, if you didn't already know, the month of June is actually SME month, and on the 27th of June is SME Day. So Unifi would like to celebrate this special occasion with all the SME owners. Now, how can you help? So make sure you pick your favorite SME businesses, support them by writing a review on your own social media, which is TikTok, Facebook, or Instagram. Use the hashtags Belanja di SME, Support Local, and Unifi Biz Support Local. The best review will stand a chance to win a big prize from Unifi. Make sure you do it. I'll see you soon.